Well, good morning. Welcome to Thoughts Can Change Your Life with me, Reverend Wolak. We're here each and every day to explore life together. And today, I thought I'd talk about this idea of how to be selfless. And that often gets confused with the idea of being selfish. And I always, at the basis of all that I teach, is everything begins and ends with self-love. And people go to me, well, that's selfish. And I said, no, that's the only thing I can do. That's the only thing I'm responsible for. That's the only thing I have power on. Do you get that? The only thing you, I, anyone has power on is what they're doing with themselves and for themselves. Now, just because I take steps to love myself more, I also wish that for everybody else. And when you desire something for yourself and you desire the same thing for someone else, that's selfless because you're wishing everyone. So like today, my thought was my greatest desire for me, my greatest desire is to become more aware and to see the beauty that surrounds me and through which I can fully experience all of life. But I wish that for everybody. I don't just wish it for myself. I wish it for everybody because here's what I've come to understand. Everybody out there is unique. Every single one of us is unique in our own way, no matter what race, what ethnicity, what color our skin, what sexuality we are, where we live, where we were born, all of that. It doesn't matter because we're all unique. We've created the illusion that I am, for me, I am a white, Caucasian, heterosexual male with Italian and Polish descent. Those are just friggin' labels. Why is it that we have to go around labeling everything? Have you ever noticed that labels cause us most of our problems? Do you realize that labels from a religious perspective are responsible for a majority of the war and killing in the world? Do you realize that labels divide us, not bring us together in oneness, which is what we are? We're all part of one. That's why I talk about how to be selfless. I want great abundance in my life, but I wish you great abundance as well. I don't believe there's any lack in the universe. I believe it's a perception that we have that there's a lack in the universe. I think we've been taught there's a lack in the universe. Something I talked about yesterday in my service was suffering. And here's what I came to say about suffering. It's a choice. Whether or not you suffer is a choice because it's based on a perception. And the only person that can control that perception is you. No one else can control that perception. So if there's suffering going deep in you, then you've got to let go of that perception. Go watch my talk yesterday, Are Problems Real? It's on YouTube. It's posted on my Facebook page right now. I put a tool in there. At the very end, I gave you a tool that will help you see life in a different way, become more aware. You see, when I talk about being selfless, I found this tool and I'm using this tool in my own life and I'm finding it's working for me. Well, guess what? When I find that, I share it with you. Why? Why not? I love the idea that more and more people are becoming aware. The more aware we become, think about that. The more everyone becomes, the greater experience we as individuals can have. So it can be both selfish and selfless at the same time. That's pretty devious, isn't it? So talk to me, gang. What's going on for you today? What's causing you concern? What's causing you anxiety? What's causing you stress? What are you trying to figure out? What are you dealing with? Write it in the comment. I'd love to chat. Here's something. If you watch me at all, you'll know that I often talk about the fact that I don't really know anything to be true. I just know I have an opinion. Look at McBride out there saying, his Sunday talk was awesome. I've listened to it more than once. It was like a glass of water on a hot day. Woo! Today, 15 years ago, Ian's mother passed away. Delpha, my mother made her transition yesterday, and all of her children were present. Moniqua, I'm having trouble handling my emotions after I handle a situation, and I still feel how I still feel how I feel about it. Well, that confused me. My mom passed away 2011. I still think about her. But when I think about her, I think about all the beauty she brought into my life, all the gifts she gave me. And you know what? No matter how your mother was, no matter what she may have been like, your mother was doing her very best. Your father was doing their very best. You may think it wasn't very good, but I'm going to tell you something. They couldn't do any better, because if they could, they would have. Your parents didn't know any better than what they knew. That's what I've come to understand. My father died, 4 years ago on April 1st. And then the reality hit me really huge that I am now the patriarch of the family. That's really sort of something. And then, yesterday on Facebook, I posted this. I said, how many people out there are noticing that more and more and more really good souls are dying? And then someone wrote back, that's because you're getting older. I laughed at that. But the other thing that I'm noticing, and maybe it's my realm in which I live, but I'm hearing more people dying than I'm hearing people being born. In my circle. And my circle includes YouTube, Facebook, in person, all of that. And I'm finding it interesting. Now, my wife will tell you, at the hospital where she did work until today, because Friday was her last day, she's now retired. They've had a baby boom. They've had a baby boom for a while in our hospital. I guess that's what happens when you're in COVID. Moniqua, coming back to you, because I didn't put anything into what you were saying there. I want you to go listen to my talk yesterday, Are Problems Real? At the very end, I talk about a tool. I want you to try that tool, use that tool on whatever you're facing right now. And then tomorrow, tell me how it worked for you. Okay? Zach, you're kidding me. Your sister is pregnant for her 11th child? That woman must love children. Either that or she doesn't understand biology. I don't want to make a judgment either side, but I guess I just did, huh, gang? Can you imagine having 11 kids? I had 2. More than enough. More than enough. Let me ask this question. What is your greatest desire today? I told you my greatest desire was to be more aware. I'm curious, what is yours? McBride says she's 12 of 13. Oh my God. Fascinating. McBride, are you Catholic by birth? And Zach, is your sister Catholic? Ian says not to waste his time on social media. McBride says my goal is to be more aware and authentic. You know what? Whatever your goal is, it's perfect. Because no one can tell you what your goals should be. Only you should be able to decide what they should be. My greatest desire is peace with my current job requirements and keep my mental well-being at the center of my awareness. Well, your well-being is your responsibility. It's amazing having so many siblings. You know, I wonder about that because my family's really, really small now. Really, really, really small. Christian. Okay. To be present in the moment. That's a good one. I've got a sister. She's single. I've got a wife. I've got a son that's single. I've got a son that's married. I have a granddaughter. That's my immediate family. I have an extended family that I don't talk to very much. They're in different parts of the world. We've lost connection many, many, many times. I talk with a couple of them on occasion. I talk to my aunt. She's what, 87, 88? I talk to Bernice probably once a month. Love talking to Bernice. She's down Mount Rio. She tells you what she thinks. That's something that happened in the Wolak family or the Carabota family, whichever way you want to look at it. We tend to be very direct. We tend to be very honest. We don't like small talk. And I'm blessed to have that as a goal. I'm not one that's much into small talk, although you may think what I'm talking about now is small, because small talk is what? Just a perception, isn't it? I try to be aware of what I'm saying. Now, when people say to me, are you aware? Sometimes you say things that hurt people. Well, no, I can't hurt anyone. I don't control how people respond to what I think. And this is where we've got really effed up in the world today. We think that because someone says something, we've got to outlaw everything that everyone says so that everyone can feel good. What are we doing? We're trying to totally eliminate personal responsibility in the world. That's poppycock. I'm responsible for how I feel. I'm responsible for how I react. And you are too. I accept personal responsibility. And because I'm selfless, I expect you to accept personal responsibility too. So I've gone right back to where we started. It's a big topic. Maybe we'll talk about that a little later this week. But I've been yapping for a while. Know that I love you. I care about you. Watch my talk yesterday. Are problems real? At the end, there's a tool. Everyone can use this tool that will help them become more aware and claim their power. With that, I wish you and know for you a great day. Aloha, everyone.